All right, looks like we're recording. So, welcome. So today we want to do a video. I've been watching YouTube today. It's storming outside and all. I have a lot to do, so no work and nothing. I thought we would check, just see what's out, new videos out and about. Some of my channels that I like to watch. I come across several videos that are giving instruction on how to lubricate a 1911 pistol. And one or two of them in particular was just ass backwards. And I don't mean no harm by that. Lube your gun the way you'd like to. But a lot of people that watch channels like mine are new firearm owners. And judging by the last video that I put out, the 38 video revolver, there was comments in that video that steered people the wrong direction. Argumentative, insulting, being called names over and over again, and people not liking it. Well, it's got 200,000 views in the last 3 weeks, but anyway, I digress. So I wanted to make a video on how I, personally, myself, lubricate my 1911. I would think common sense would have a little role into lubricating firearms in general, all of them, but a 1911 handgun is not a starter handgun. It's not for first-time gun owners, in my opinion. It's far more complicated than that. The 1911 won't run dry. I've seen people say, well, don't put any oil on it, run dry. Look, this is not a Glock. It will not run dry. It may run for a while, but when that heat gets in there and it starts making those tolerances flex inside that gun, it's going to fail you. A 1911 is meant to run wet. It's not meant to run dry. It is not a Glock. And I would go as far as to say a 1911 even requires more training than any of your striker-fired guns and such. So anyway, it's more of a professional type handgun, or meant for people with a little more knowledge. And firearms experience. I'm not saying don't buy one. I'm saying it can be a dangerous gun strictly by design if you don't want or can't spend the time to learn the platform. So I know that was confusing as hell, but just remember, it's got to be wet. It's not a Glock. So what we'll do, let me put that out. I don't condone smoking. Don't do it. The gun's been safety checked. There's no mag. There's nothing in the barrel. We got to break the gun down. This is not a video on how to break down a 1911. Do that at your own risk. If you don't know how to put it back together, you've disabled it. It won't work. You'll be on here watching a video on how to put it back together. So we're going to skip all that. I just want to take it apart to show you the points that need to be lubricated. That simple. And even sometimes in dim light, the gun is hard to take apart for me. So it doesn't come apart like a Glock or any of the striker-fired handguns. 1911 has to be took apart a certain way and then put back together in a certain way. And it can be put together to where it does not run properly. And we don't want that. I got to get this barrel nut out, the barrel bushing out. See, even for me, sometimes it's hard to get the damn thing together right, or apart right. All right. Well, stand by. All right, so see, that goes to show you my barrel bushing would not come out. So it goes to show you that they can be particular. So we'll just go back to what we were talking about. Sorry for the delay. Barrel bushing. Anywhere that this gun has a mated part, like the bushing goes in, right, and locks back in place and all that. Anywhere there's a mated part, where two pieces of metal mate, bushing goes inside, so there's mated parts. Where they might move even just a little bit, it requires a little bit of oil there. I personally use Hoppy's number 9. You can buy the little bottle with the little fancy needles and give $15 for a half an ounce. If you feel like that's what you want, hops and rim oil, just a light oil, does a fantastic job. On the barrel, you can take your gun apart and see where there's wear, okay, scratches or discolorations or anything like that require lubrication. Not a lot, but it does require lubrication. And that's any part inside the gun, period. Not just on the barrel hood and on the end of the barrel and then slide it together and do all this. You forgot everything inside the frame. You've not oiled anything inside the slide. We'll get to that in a minute. You know, there's lots of parts. Anytime there's friction point or there's mating surfaces, requires lubrication. Personally, me, I take it apart and lay it up here like this, and I take an oil rag that I have and I wipe everything down. I put the gun back together after oiling the internals in this frame, like the hammer springs and stuff, the slide release springs and stuff. You have to access them through here. So what I do is I just squirt a little drop in here, and I squirt a drop or two here, and any of the moving parts, man. I mean, depending on what series 1911 you have, you know, we ain't gonna get into that because this ain't about different guns. Any common sense here is that's what we were talking about earlier, common sense. Any mating parts that may touch or vibrate under recoil, even if they don't move like this, if they just sitting there and they may vibrate, they will wear out. So, and of course, anything that actually slides, like the slide, you know, like the rails on the gun, they have to be oiled. Look, they trying to make things so easy for everybody, but they're telling you a falsehood. It's not true. You have to oil a 1911. And it's important because a lot of you guys like your 1911s. I like mine. I want it to last a long time. But the main thing is I want it to be functional, and I want it to work when I need it to work. So just mating parts, you know, friction parts, anything that shows a sign of wear, put a drop on it, have your rag, because you're gonna have excess. Put it on it, wipe it down with a rag. Put the gun back together, oil the exterior. That helps with rust. It helps preserve your finish on your gun. And here's a big overlooked thing you never hear anybody talking about. When I said I'd get to that in a minute, holding this slide, what I was talking about is the guns, all guns, have a firing pin, well, all semi-automatics, have a channel that your firing pin sits in, right? It's a hole that the pin's in, or either a channel. Don't put any oil there. Remove it periodically. Not every time you clean it, you don't have to take the firing pin out, but remove it periodically. Oil it, wet, you know, oil rag, wipe it off, and then dry it with a paper towel. Here's why. What does oil do? Okay, we know what it does, but let's say we're outside and it's hot, and just from carrying the gun or leaving it in your drawer by the table, if dust and dirt were to settle on it, and it's going to, that oil sticks it. It's stuck, so it can't fall out or get away. You know, it can't go away because it kind of attracts oil. You know, it stays stuck in it, which wears your gun out. Never put oil in your firing pin channels. I don't care what no gun makers tell you. Look, them people in the business of selling firearms, the quicker it wears out, the quicker you're gonna buy another one. Everything else, light coat of oil, wipe it off, dry it, you know, and you're good to go. But, you know, a 1911 certainly has more than 4 lubricating spots. you know, anybody that tells you that, I don't know where they're getting their ideas from, but they obviously don't have a lot of firearms experience or general common sense with any kind of metal machinery, or whether it be guns or bush hogs. Anything that where two metal surfaces meet, or even polymer and metal, and move or vibrate, requires lubrication if you want it to last. So, I mean, it just does. So, anyway, I get off my soapbox. Thank you guys for stopping by. You know, I'm sorry I get long-winded and I get boring at times. I've been told that on some videos. Boring, Elmer Fudd, this, that, and other stuff. I ain't over here to impress nobody. I'm gonna get me a big shirt that says, "You can kiss my butt." I can't say the word I want to. But like and subscribe, share the videos if it's helped you. Something you want to see, leave it in the comments. I'll get around to it as soon as I can. So thank you. Take care of yourself. Let's put God back first. That's where he deserves to be. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.